Hey everyone! So this is going to be part 2 of my Harry Potter project videos, and hopefully this is the last time I'm going to do this because I have done a couple takes, but anyway, in the first part I explained that I really want to do a Harry Potter readathon slash watchathon, and what I really want to incorporate into that is having some Harry Potter food and drink to have during that time, because I think it's going to be about 5 days that I'm going to be doing this, because I'm reading each of the 3 books in the first 3 days, and then the second 2 days are going to be me doing a movie marathon. So I would just love to have my meals be like Harry Potter themed during that time. So I think the day before I start this, I really want to do a giant cooking and baking day where I just listen to maybe whatever I'm currently reading before I start the readathon, and just kind of bake and cook the whole day, and then do that. And this is all starting in like a week. I think I mentioned, I don't know if I mentioned, but anyway, so yeah, I'm really excited. And so for this part, I wanted to talk to you guys about the food and drink that I want to try to make, and these are all things I'd be doing for the first time, and I'm just so excited. So I have my list here. Most of these are copied out from the Unofficial Cookbook. Last summer I got it on Kindle from the library, and I copied out several of the recipes and did my own substitutions, which I know kind of sounds like cheating, since I didn't buy it, but I was copying out the recipes. But the thing about that is that since I am a vegetarian, I knew that I wanted to substitute some of the ingredients and some of the instructions to be vegetarian friendly for some of the dishes that I didn't want to miss out on, but that called for meat. And I really did not want to buy a copy and then scribble all over it, because from what I've seen of the book, it was just too pretty for me to want to spend like $20 on it and then basically ruin it by scribbling all in it. So basically I'm pulling a Snape with this one, just without destroying the textbook. Yeah, like doing my own substitutions and everything, but I had to put that reference in there because, Half-Blood Prince, yay! So anyway, I copied out I copied out all the recipes that I thought I would enjoy, but for this list, I got like 14, I think, and there are 2 from Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them that I'm really excited about. So for the entrees, the 3 that I'm the most excited about are Kreacher's French Onion Soup, which Kreacher makes for Harry, Ron, and Hermione when they get back from staking out the Ministry. Not when they go on their mission, because obviously then they don't go back to Grimmauld Place, but when they're still kind of staking things out, he makes this French onion soup for them. And luckily, the only substitution I would have to make for this one is doing veggie broth instead of beef broth, so that'll be delicious and awesome. So I'm going to try that. And then the other 2 are a little more difficult because I have to substitute actual meat. But that is shepherd's pie and Cornish pasties. Cornish pasties are pretty much like a staple Harry Potter food. They're mentioned in quite a few of the books, and I think they are, at least for the Hogwarts Beasts and stuff. And then shepherd's pie, I think, is specifically mentioned in Chamber of Secrets. I think, from what I saw in the book, Harry has this before he goes to detention with Lockhart, maybe. And so for shepherd's pie, the main ingredient that it calls for is, or the main meat ingredient, I should say, is ground beef or ground lamb. And I will be substituting this with ground chickpea or garbanzo bean. For my veggie burger mix that I make, I use, I got this recipe off of like, I think it's called Veggie and the Beast, maybe, which is a food blog. But anyway, I use chickpea and sweet potato. And I think I don't want to put the ground sweet potato in because since shepherd's pie also calls for mashed potatoes, I don't know how those two would do together. If any cooks are watching and you have actually combined sweet potato and regular potatoes before and you think they taste really good together, please let me know. But for now, I'm just going to do the ground chickpea as a substitute for the beef. And then for the Cornish pasties, basically same thing. They call for, I think, chuck steak. And so I'm going to substitute chickpea for that. Except I think for this, it's not supposed to be ground. So for that, I might just cut the chickpeas in half or something. So that'll be a substitution for that, and then I think everything else will be good, because the Cornish pasties also call for potato, like regular potato, so I'm not going to incorporate the sweet potato part. And then for the desserts that I want to do, I really want to do, Queenie's strudel from Fantastic Beasts, although the two changes I will be making are, instead of doing just apple strudel, I'm going to do half apple, half blackberry, and just mix the two together. Not like separately and then mix them together. I'm just going to do apple and blackberry together. And I'm not going to put the raisins in, because I know in the movie you see that she's putting raisins in as well, and I'm not a raisin person, especially not in pastry. So I'll be skipping that step. And then the other one, I'm torn between custard sponge cake or cauldron cakes. Custard sponge cake is easier and probably cheaper, but cauldron cakes are a little more Harry Potter-ish. Like, you know, custard sponge cake, I think, I forget the occasion where this is mentioned. I'll have to look it up at some point, but that's just like an everyday dessert that they're having, whereas cauldron cakes are specifically Harry Potter, and I love the recipe that I saw on Disney Diner that was from Universal Studios, that recipe, I think, and I just really like their version of them versus the one that was actually in the unofficial cookbook, because that was something like pancakes that they were calling cauldron cakes, which I just don't agree with. So yeah, I'm kind of torn because cauldron cakes sound more delicious, but the other one is cheaper and easier to do, so we'll see about that. I have a week to decide. And then another Fantastic Beasts recipe that I want to do is Jacob's Niffler bread. The only thing with this that I'm torn about is which method to use, because there's one where you, in both methods, you do the body and the head separately and then bake them together, but you like mold them separately. But in one method, you take the rest, like the big portion of the dough, and you just kind of mold it out, like sculpt it into the shape of a niffler, and then you use scissors to cut out the fingers and the toes on the hands and feet. And then you put the head on and cook it together or bake it together. And then for the other one, you actually, you take the head and you shape it differently than the body, but you also then split the body into 5 parts and do 4 little parts and make hands out of them and feet and then attach them and put it all together and bake it. So I'm not really sure which method I'll use, but I'm really excited about that as well. And then some other things, I definitely want to do butterbeer. I haven't decided whether to do hot or cold yet, because hot is actually a little more complicated and probably a little pricier, but it's more appropriate for the weather, because the weather is going to be colder that day, or those days. So yeah, even though the cold one is cheaper, I might have to go for hot just for warmth. And then what else? I thought this idea was really cool. I saw another video that Lindsay Ann made where she's talking about Hogwarts food, and one idea that she thought was great was doing using a green smoothie as a polyjuice potion substitute. I personally have tried making my own green smoothie, and I have failed at it because I cannot get the proportions right to make it taste good. So I would just get mine from the grocery store because there's a specific brand of green smoothie that I really love. So I would get that from the grocery store and use that as polyjuice potion. Oh, and I should have mentioned I have a butterbeer mug, so I would put the butterbeer in my mug, and then for the polyjuice potion, I have a couple other Harry Potter mugs or cups that I would use for that. And then some other, oh, I do want to do a couple Hogwarts Feast side dishes. I want to do glazed carrots because I already have all the ingredients for that here, and that's something that's pretty easy, and I love that it's a Hogwarts Feast dish, but it's so simple and cheap because I already have all the ingredients. And then for some pre-made things that I want to do as Hogwarts things, aside from the green smoothie as polyjuice potion, I also want to get some Ferrero Rocher chocolates because they make perfect golden snitches because they have gold wrapping. And I'm really considering, I know this is dumb and I'll probably just do it for the sake of taking the picture beforehand, like before I dig in, but I'm really considering printing out little paper wings and putting them on the Ferrero Rocher because that's something that I can print out at my library that is free because I already have money on my card. So I'm really considering doing that. That might be kind of excessive, but we'll see. And then also another thing that I really want to do is the Birdie Bots Every Flavor beans. Sadly, the Birdie Bots Every Flavor beans that they actually make are not vegetarian friendly. I remember looking this up and I don't think they're vegetarian friendly, but Starburst jelly beans are vegan. So I am going to get a pack or two of those and put them in a Honeydukes jar that I have that I'm currently using as a book jar, and have that. So honestly, a lot of this is just for the sake, like the, fun display stuff. It's just for the sake of taking the picture of all the food before I dig in and stuff, but I still think it'd be a lot of fun. And I think that's it. I know that's a lot, and depending on my budget, I may actually have to whittle that down even smaller to not do as many because of the price, but we'll have to see. I still am in the middle of doing all of my budgeting to figure out what I need to buy, what I already have here, all of that. So we'll see, but I just think it's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm really excited to take pictures and show you guys, and I'll do a little video when I finish to show you guys everything, and say what each thing is and everything, and how hard it was to make it or not hard, and yeah, anyway. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think of this project idea, and please let me know if you want to join in for reading any of the first 3 books or even watching any of the films. I would love to have some internet company if anybody wants to do that. And thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.